Good morning, America. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some new data that was just released by the Internal Revenue Service. Kind of shocking, really. That shows that for 2019, now we're just in 2019, just getting started really with 2019. Today's date is February 23rd. The statistics from the Internal Revenue Service, especially in light of all of the talk and actions by the administration last year in terms of overhauling the tax codes, which were basically, touted and designed to really benefit taxpayers, which was really something that a lot of people were looking forward to. The numbers released by the Internal Revenue Service are quite, contradictory. So the data released by the IRS, and we're going to look at the numbers in a second, but the data released shows that the average US tax refund is actually down 17% in 2019. So we're going to talk about this, but let's take a look. Let's take a look at the numbers. Let's see, what they're really telling us here. So this is the Internal Revenue Service's website, and these are the filing season statistics for the week ending February 15th, 2019. And it's just a head-to-head comparison, basically, of 2018 versus 2019, and you can sort of see, where the numbers are to get a sense of what's going on. And the numbers really are down all across the board. But here, the most important thing that we really want to take a look at is these two last columns here, total refunds, and then direct deposit refunds. Most Americans do have their tax refunds direct deposited by the IRS. So when we look at total refunds, we can see that, let me just go back up for a second here. You can see that this is head-to-head. 2018 in the left-hand column, 2019 in the right column, and then the end column is percent change. Okay, so when we look at these numbers, we can see that in 2018 the average total refund was $3,169. Now, in comparison, in 2019 the average U.S. refund is down to $2,640, and that's a percent change of a minus 16.7%. And the direct deposit refunds are very similar. When we look at the numbers again, the average direct deposited refund last year, 2018, was $3,256, and that gets versus this year when the average direct deposit refund was just $2,703. And again, that's a change of 17%. So down 17%, down 16.7%. So, when we come back to looking at this, like I said, when the new tax codes were rolled out and, touted by the administration, the idea was that it was going to positively impact the average U.S. taxpayer, not just the ultra wealthy or those at either end of the spectrum, but your average U.S. taxpayer. So the numbers kind of contradict that. So let's take a closer look and see, where is the discrepancy? What is really sort of leading to this? So going back through the numbers, I mean, you can see that, to go from $3,169 to $2,640, that's substantial. That's almost a 20% decrease. Now, a lot of U.S. taxpayers view the tax refund as really one of their main sources of income throughout the year. When the income taxes and the income tax refunds come out, that's a significant boost for a lot of Americans, you know, and to see that cut by almost 20%, 16.7%, is, you know, definitely not what people were envisioning when, you know, the new tax regulations were rolled out. Now, the administration did have a response to this. They said that, you know, it's hard to read into, you know, year-to-year head-to-head comparisons. Sometimes those numbers won't be, you know, as indicative of what's actually happening, you know, as they suggest. But again, it's not down 2 or 3%, it's down 17%. And the administration has also said that, you know, this doesn't necessarily mean that the new tax regulations, you know, failed to save Americans money. What they're saying is that people are actually seeing a larger paycheck from, you know, pay period to pay period from the new codes, rather than seeing the benefits in a larger refund. And that may or may not be the case, but like I say, you know, when you look at this, I think so many Americans are just so used to, you know, getting that tax refund and looking forward to, you know, tax refund time as a huge boost in their savings, their income, their spending ability. So to have that, you know, reduced, you know, is really, for a lot of people, I think, going to be eye-opening. And this is sort of a direct contradiction to the statements that we heard last year when the new tax codes were first, you know, being, you know, debated in Congress. And when they were rolled out by the Treasury head at that time, Steve Mnuchin, he basically said that there really wouldn't be a decrease in the refunds. So again, this is a contradiction to sort of that type of statement. So, you know, I think that it's very early. Not all the refunds are in, of course. Not all the refunds that have been issued will be issued now. So we're just going to have to see how it plays out for the rest of the tax season. For those of you who, you know, aren't as familiar with the U.S. tax system, people will file their income taxes from January 1st all the way up to April 15th typically. So, you know, when we look at the IRS site, you know, it does talk about the filing season. So the season's not over. We're sort of at that sort of halfway point. But so far, you know, those numbers are quite contradictory to, I think, what everyone was hoping for and expecting. So, you know, we're just going to have to see how it shakes out. You know, that's quite a bit down. I mean, I feel that 17% is really much more than people envisioned. I think, if anything, when you think about, you know, tax reform, you think about getting a larger refund or more money back from the government. So it's certainly disheartening at this point. But again, you know, like I say, I think, you know, we just have to sort of wait and see really what happens with this, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. So this is an issue we're going to have to keep our eyes on, and I'm sure you're going to hear more and more about this as tax season progresses on, and we'll hear more and more about this from both sides, the Democrats and the Republicans. So we will see.